Two spheres A and B moving with speed u collide obliquely. The line joining their centers at point of impact is along the x-axis. Before the velocity of A makes an acute angle alpha with the positive direction x-axis, and the velocity of B makes an acute angle alpha with the negative direction of the axis. Coefficient of friction is E, where E is in between 0 and 1. Calculate in terms of E and U the velocity of each sphere after the collision. So what I'm going to do is I can extend this line further out, and then what you'll find is that the first particle, you're using almost like opposite angles. That's angle alpha there, and that's U. And then you simply get U cos alpha and U sine alpha. And then it's in the opposite direction, but the other one does the exact same thing, except going to the left instead of going to the right. So I'm just going to remove this now. Actually, I'll just do it here. See, like that. And then you can say the alpha is this angle here. Okay? So we call that same deal, U cos alpha and U sine alpha, okay? And that's the before picture, okay? So that's the particles before the collision. Are they of equal mass?
Yeah.
Both mass m, aren't they? Now after the collision, what happens? Vertical remains the same. And horizontal, call it V1. And I'm just going to have this one going to the right. I don't know if it is or not. If I'm wrong, what will happen? V2 will be negative. And that'll be U sine alpha. Okay. Now I'm at the part where I can probably do PCM and NEL and get some points on the board. Okay, let's do PCM, principle of conservation of momentum, M1U1. So it's MU cos alpha plus, oh, not plus, it's in the opposite direction, isn't it? So it's, sorry, initially it's plus minus see that? Because going to the left equals mv1 plus v2. If we divide both sides by m, and the two of them cancel each other out, don't they? So what am I going to get? v1 plus v2 equals 0. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Now we're going to go for NEL. Anybody remember what NEL is? Would everybody know that off the top of their head by now, or more or less? Okay. Now, V1 minus V2 stays the same. The tricky part is the U1 minus the U2. So it's actually U cos alpha minus another minus U cos alpha. And what happens to the two minuses? Comes a plus, so it's 2U cos alpha. And then that becomes, it becomes V1 minus V2 equals minus 2EU cos alpha. What I like about collisions questions is very easy to get the two equations and very easy to get the first like 15 out of 25. Like you don't even have to think much. Now we're going to add downwards. What happens when we add downwards? We cancel V2 and we get 2V1 equals minus 2 EU cos alpha, and we get V1 equals minus EU cos alpha. Now, does everybody see the second equation, the blue one here? The one that my arrows are pointing at? Do you see that one? What that basically means is that if I move the V1 over the other side, it actually means that V2 is minus V1. So just multiply it by minus, and V2 equals EU cos alpha. Okay, so we've achieved all of that there, okay? So that's all done. Now what we're going to do next is it wants something from me. A and B move perpendicular to each other after collision. Show that E equals tan alpha. Okay. Show that E is the same as tan alpha. Now this is going to be interesting. I think I'm going to grab that after picture I had earlier. Do you see the after picture? Okay, I'm just going to bring it down with me. Whatever it turns out. Oh, there it is. Look at the size of it. Now here's the deal. What we learned is that this one ain't going to the left, is it? What's it doing? It's going to the... Oh, sorry, it isn't going to the right. It's going to the left, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to probably going to draw a square over this and then just get rid of it. All right, so we get rid of this. Okay. Now, I might have to move over this way because I'm moving the whole thing over, okay? So, what do we find out phi2 was again? What? EU cos alpha, okay? And then on the left side, what do we have here? Technically minus EU cos alpha because it's negative, and that is... Now, here's the trick I'm looking to play. I think we're going to try this trick, right? Imagine we knew the numbers, okay? And this is what's called the simplification technique. The simplification technique works as follows. Imagine a slope of 3/4. 3/4, 4 here and 3 there. What's perpendicular to 3/4? And you remember this from your junior cert or coordinate geometry in your leaving cert. What's perpendicular to 3/4 is turn it upside down and change the sign. What's the slope that's perpendicular to 3/4? Now minus 4/3 means technically, see, a positive slope goes diagonally right up. A negative slope goes diagonally right down. Something like that, yeah? Okay, in this case it's going sort of away, isn't it? But still a negative slope, would you agree with that? Diagonally right up is a positive slope. Diagonally left up is a negative slope. Okay, and what I'm claiming is that this is 3 across and 4 up. Agreed? How do I prove the two of them are perpendicular to each other? Did you ever hear of m1 multiplied by m2 is minus 1? So what could I do? 4 by minus 3 multiplied by... Everybody see that? And that's what I do. Now, I showed you the simplified version of this. What do you think we're going to do with this, knowing the knowledge I just showed you now? What am I going to do with what I have here? What's the slope of the one on the right? What's the slope? Huh? M2 is U sine alpha all over EU cos alpha. Okay. By the way, I don't know if this works yet. This is just the way I decided to do it. I'm hoping it works. If it doesn't, I'll figure it out. Next part. Yeah. Over. We're going to multiply both of them by each other. Now, technically, and when you multiply both of them by each other, the answer has to be minus 1. Now, we actually have this locked down here, and I'll tell you why. Can anybody tell me what sine alpha over cos alpha is? Tan alpha, yeah? So would you agree with U tan alpha? Another U tan alpha? Yeah? And then what else? On the bottom, minus E squared, U squared equals minus 1. Agreed? What happens to the U squared? The cancel culture. Bring the minus E squared and multiply by minus 1. So tan squared alpha equals E squared. Square root both sides. Just for the record, it was actually easier than that nearly. Because technically the slope of eh, the slope of this one. Do you know what tan alpha is the slope? The slope of the one on the left was always going to be minus tan alpha, and the slope of the one on the right was always going to be tan alpha. And when you multiply both slopes by 2, you get minus 1. I got there anyway, but you could have just went directly after that, and it would have been okay.